Well, it's October the 4th right now, and here's a little review of what happens to tomatoes. Now, these tomatoes you see right in front of you here, I'll try to go back, and this is where the kittens were born a while ago. And I never planted any of the, well, these I did plant, yeah. But as you can see, they have done really well. And they give me cherry tomatoes like this. And I've just picked all the ripe ones, but you can see kind of what size they are. They're really nice. And they're climbing up these strings. And these got started late in the season, and that's why they're, not to the ceiling yet. Now, these are the other ones that I really wanted to show you. Now, these I didn't plant. They just grew from volunteer. Well, they were volunteers. They were seeds that fell out of there last year. And as you can see, this has just turned into one huge bush. And as I recall, there were like, perhaps 5 or 6 plants here of different varieties. Most of these turned out to be cherry tomatoes, as you can see right here. And I'm still getting a lot of them. And there was a few Brandywine and some others. But let me show you around the back here. See, as you can see, I tried to train some of these on strings. Like here's one, for example. And as you can see, it's being supported. And some of them, you can see another red string up there, if you can see it right up there, and it's holding some up. But these have gone beyond the strings. You can see they're touching the ceiling there, and a lot of them are kind of bending over, and they're coming down basically because they've just grown so much. Let me kind of show you around the back here, if you can see through here. I think on the other side you can probably see a lot better. Let me go around the back. Now see, here's some of those Brandywine tomatoes, and there's some more right there that are ripening up. I've gotten a lot of good tomatoes off these. If I back up clear to here, you can kind of see just how much growth there is. It's just tremendous. Now let me go around the back, and maybe you can see kind of how this is all spindly and grown in, but you can kind of see through this little trellis that I've got here. See, there's that old grow pipe that I made. Still got water flowing through it, but as you can see, there's cherry tomatoes back here, and see the tomatoes are like a big bush through there. Just tremendous amounts of tomatoes, and that's what happens if you don't trim them, you don't take care of them. They'll just keep growing. And here's another one right there. You can kind of see it zigzagging up through there, and here's another one zigzagging through here. And they just keep growing. These are indeterminate tomatoes, of course. They do that. And they'll do that as long as there's water and doesn't freeze. Now, a couple of other things I wanted to show you. And these got to come out of here. These, here's one here that is kind of dying. I'm not sure why. I don't know if that's a determinant, but you can see that all the tips are getting green. They're growing. But let's see, here's another one. And what these are is, this was just a cutting that I put in there, and see, it grew up and it grew around, and I supported some of this, and as you can see where I've supported it, it's bent down. Now it's growing down there, and it's still growing. And the same thing over here. See, I supported this, and again, this was cuttings, and just tremendous. Now over here, this is a little better example of what can happen. These were all cuttings. Oh, look at that one. Oh, I gotta get that one out of there. But anyway, these are all cuttings. I'm gonna pull them out because they're just overgrown. But as you can see, they're still growing strong. That one right there, that big bush, that was a cutting. I think 4 or 5 plants I stuck in the water there just to let them get a chance to get rooted, and I left them there. And see, they've grown up there and grown over the side, and see, they're all on the floor. What they see, they're supported, and then they bend over here, and then they just grow clear down onto the floor there, and they just keep going. They don't stop. Well, there's another set of these over here on this side. Let me show you those. Now this one over here, same thing. These These were just some cuttings that I wanted to let them have a chance to live. Maybe re-sprout some roots or something. But look at that. They just come up out of there and they're all over the ground and they're growing. And look at all the tomatoes. We can't eat all the tomatoes that they're producing. So, by the way, this one here, I'm going to pull this out of here today and put it in the composter because I want to plant some lettuce in here because it's starting to get a little cooler. And here's another one here that was just some cuttings that we put in. You can see they're in that pot right there, and they grow over the side and down they go. Anyway, and there's another one. There's some cuttings we put in late. And you see the cuttings are blossoming and doing good. Anyway, that's what's happening in the greenhouse and the tomato plants that have just gone wild. And I've got to pay more attention to them next year. And it looks like I don't need to plant very many tomatoes to satisfy all of our needs really, really well.